I made it out to the Allegheny Chapter National Road Run in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Right into bike night. And here I am, I'm trying to get this thing going. I'm going to catch up with Andy on his 1931 Henderson. But I couldn't keep the thing running. So I stalled it. So now I'm going to try my first ever bump start. Small hill here. Drop it in third gear and see what I can do. Got it going. Heading back out. Didn't think I'd catch Andy because he's well on down the road. Here I am leaving the Antioch and it's a pretty busy intersection potentially because there's a blind hill coming up. But fortunately there was a car up here that I could kind of get an idea that there was maybe no traffic coming by. So I waited for him to go, and as soon as he left I approached the intersection, took a look both ways, and looked good down that way, looked good over there, and away we go. So I headed on down, and of course it's a rainy day. It was just sprinkling though, so not too bad, but it's about a 6-mile ride into town, and it was a sprinkly day. Here I am by myself out on the red one, heading south on Route 711, I think, in Pennsylvania. A couple guys coming the other way. Gas station on the left here. Sheets where guys would fill up in the morning on their way out. Speed limit in here is about 35. That's about what I was doing. I pretty much stuck to the speed limit on most of this ride. Coming into town, there's a stop sign 1 block short of the downtown square, so everybody wanted to let me go. They didn't want to go in front of me, so they let me go. Went through this intersection, and of course I got down to the next intersection. Intersection, and of course I stalled right there. Andy helped me get the bike up.
Side stand.
No.
Boy, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And here are the bikes. Now this is quite a few of them had already left. This is when I was getting ready to leave actually. And then the next morning I got up and heading out. Just past the gas station, a bunch of guys pulled out in front. Away we go. This is the same road essentially that I took going down to Ligonier the night before, so I was pretty familiar with it. I'm following along with these guys, and we went all the way down in through Ligonier and then continued on south as we made it out to the route well south of Ligonier down to Donegal and further south into southern Pennsylvania. Came into Ligonier, and I was actually able to successfully negotiate that corner without stalling this time. Passing where my bike was the night before, and down around the diamond is what they call this piece of property in the middle of town, and headed on down south. One more intersection to go. It's a pretty good sized light. Through the light, and away we go. Now what happened was I had kind of fallen behind a little bit, and so those guys that were in front of me before, they're long gone. things deteriorated from there. I got out to a little flat area, got a little chunk of leather in my chain, and I was stopped. So I got on FaceTime Live and explained it all. Stuck out here. I came up to this intersection, and there's my bike. Came up to this intersection down this road, and I got in here, and a piece of leather got caught in the chain, made a little bit of noise, so I had to pull over and get it stopped. And in the process of getting the bike pulled over and secured, I stalled it. So now the problem is that without a kicker, I can't get the thing started. So I've had a few attempts to start it. I had a chance to check the oil and do a few other and sundry items, but I really can't start it. So I've got the chase truck coming out to get me. I'm out here with the Allegheny chapter, is doing a road run, and I was able to get him a call, but they've got a chase truck out here, and apparently it's a popular day to break down because 4 other bikes have broken down. So I think he had a full house, and he took them back to the shop, and then he's going to come out and pick me up. Really, what I need is a push. I can bump start this thing, but I cannot, I don't have a hill. And so I need either 2 20-something guys. I can spin the wheel and start it, but it just has not been a good day for me to do that. So basically, I'm dead in the water till I can find a hill or get picked up here. And of course, now I've been out here for probably a half hour or so, and I'm way behind the pack. And I'm trying to figure out if I can even catch up. Maybe I can catch up with him for lunch. We will see. I got it started. I made it, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles down the road. Well, it was probably more like 20. Promptly ran out of gas. I had an extra gas can with me, so I was able to refuel it. I had to shut it down, but stopped on a hill, got my gas tank filled enough to get to the gas station, so just made it here to the fire department where everybody is gathering now for lunch. So I'm just going to walk out here and take a look around this parking lot. This is a lot of bikes. I thought everybody had gone by the time I got here, but I got my spot right over there. But there's a lot of bikes out here. Look at this. Just a few. Just a few. But here I got my bike is up here on the hill, so I can just kind of roll it down this hill to get it started, and then we're gonna head on up this road, I guess, and that's it. So far so good. I missed going to West Virginia, and I missed going to Maryland. So after lunch, I made good time and gotten out. I didn't want to be behind again. So I headed out. I had a pretty good idea of where the road went. I had it worked on the route the night before, checked it all out, knew where I was going. So it was a lot easier to do the second part of the day. Here I am heading on up the road up to the Mount Davis lookout tower. Of course, Mount Davis is the highest point in Pennsylvania. I think some 3,200 feet, and then there's a little tower at the top of it. I was actually the first bike to arrive because Richard Spagnoli, the president of the chapter, had stopped off at a lake to check in the view. But here we are going up the tower, taking a look at the top of that place, and there is quite a view. Here's a little panorama. That's Richard's grandson, his son Mark, and a couple other guys as we're getting ready to head back down and back out on the road. There's Richard and his wife up in the front of this pack, and I think his son and grandson behind them. Hanging on for dear life, seeing if I can keep up with them. I'm doing all right, but pretty much eventually they got us to the next gas stop, which was only about 10 or 15 miles away, and I managed to stay with them the whole time. But they made it interesting because I was able to actually kind of watch some bikes ahead of me, and I knew what was coming before it got to me. So that was nice. eventually we came upon our next gas stop, pulled in here and got gas, and of course the real challenge for me is keeping an eye out for hills where I can stop the bike and restart. So I kind of pulled in here, stopped and took a look around, finally got some gas, and I'm back out on the road again. And this is one where I really did know the road pretty well, so I didn't really care if I knew people were going. It turns out about 5 or 6 bikers got up behind me and they tucked in behind me and they never passed me. So the reason there's no bikes in front of me is because I'm dragging about 6 or 7 bikes behind me. I wasn't holding them up, mind you. I think they just liked having somebody show them the way. I'd actually taken a look at the route the night before and I had a half idea where I was going, which was nice for a change. Lots of country driving, but occasionally we'd come upon a little community, have to go through town. This one didn't have any signals at it, so I was able to just kind of go through town at a reasonable speed. This here is Rockwood, Pennsylvania. Railroad track just before the hill up ahead. Didn't look like much, but that was a pretty good sized hill actually. And well, the red one just pulled it right on up the hill, and away we went. Now we're coming through New Centerville, Pennsylvania. Pretty busy intersection. Flashing light for us. The other folks coming the other way had a yellow, so I had to keep an eye on all this. And one of the riders behind me, nice old Honda 6-cylinder, came up next to me, but ultimately he let me go ahead. Kind of went through the intersection and back out on the open road. I saw the sign about a mile before, but here's the entrance to Laurel Hill State Park. So I slowed down and entered this side road, entered the park. Really nice, wooded, hilly, nice riding through the trees. And again, I had about 5 or 6 guys on bikes behind me. That was pretty much downhill from there, both literally and figuratively. Got to an intersection and noticed that I was stuck in third because my shoulder bolt had fallen out. Zip tied it all back together, made it back to camp, and that was the end of that trip. Thanks for watching and do subscribe.